We're always telling ourselves stories. Stories about that you're the good person, maybe not the not so good person. Most of us fall in between. But it's more about the thoughts what we put in our minds all the time, or how we even see ourselves. And a lot of people out there see themselves as a victim. I used to think that wasn't such a bad thing to be seen as a victim. Better to be seen as a victim than the one who preys on the victim. But really, all of that is stories, and why should we even be the victim? What is wrong with every minute living our lives the way that we want, being happy, victorious, and when we're happy and victorious, the thing that usually happens, or just I would say, there would be some who would say always happen, all the things that you really want, truly want, flows to you. They flow to you in this state when you are at your best. When you're not telling yourself the stories that hold back, like the lack story, instead of saying the abundance. It's too bad that we weren't mostly brought up to believe that there is abundance everywhere. The abundance in nature, and abundance, even going to the supermarket. You see tons of stuff. Almost rarely do you see any shelves empty. And when they do, you don't feel, most of us don't feel nervous about it because we know they're going to stock it right back up there. So, to see ourselves in the light of what we want to be. And I know what I'd like to be. I like to be healthy, of course wealthy, most importantly, happy, and yeah, I'd like to be seen as the victim, being who I want to be. Now, there may be other people who don't want to be what I want to be. That's why everyone is different. Everyone has their own story. But you should always make sure your story is really how you want to live your life, what you tell yourself. And you can change. I know a lot of people think they're just stuck with what they get. And the sad thing is, most of us are brought up to believe that whatever hand you're dealt, there you go. You're stuck with it. But you're not. And the way to get out of that is to rewrite your story, revise it, so to speak. Revise your story. I know Neville Goddard's always talking about revision. And just changing it. You don't have to change everything. If there's some things working for you, of course, keep those things, right? It's not about giving up and changing yourself completely. I know a lot of people think to be someone else would be wrong. You should be yourself. But really, we're all coming down here and acting in this play of life. And so changing yourself for yourself, not changing yourself for someone else, changing yourself for the good for yourself, being the best version of yourself. That's what I mean by changing yourself. And that's what we all should want to be, the best version of ourselves. Hey, if you want to be the bad guy, I'm not going to say anything against that. But I'm going to make sure that I tell myself the story, that I don't run into those people. And when you are telling yourself those wonderful stories, and you do still seem to run into things once in a while, at least then your perception about it is slightly higher elevation than what it would have been if you would have stayed in that story. So, yes. And you see a whole lot less of those. I know someone, and I love her. She's like the second mom. I really love her. But she's always telling the stories you don't want to hear. Like, if it wasn't for bad luck, I have no luck at all. Please, people. I know it sounds funny, but she means it too, I can tell. And she has got car trouble, and she's, yeah. Those are not the stories you want to tell yourself. Unless, of course, you like that. If you like it, hey, go with it. Flow with it. I do not like those kinds of things. Anyway, I just wanted to make this video and about the stories out there. And you can always change your story. It doesn't, you can change it from any time. Like I said, keeping the things you like, losing the things you don't like, not by thinking about them, thinking about, oh, I don't want to think about that. No, because that pulls in that. And I'm always telling my son this. If there's something you don't want to think about, then think about something you do want to think about. That's how you change it. You can't change it by saying, I'm not going to think about that, because that just gives you more of that, what you're thinking about. So, simply just acknowledge it's there, let it go, and focus and think about the happy things. And with that being said, have a wonderful night, and over and